Good morning. Hello to you all. How are you this morning? Everything okay? Feeling right? The sun, that's happening. I opened my iPhone this morning, before I'm going to ask you a question, and I saw some remarkable news again today. Google AI scientists solved a problem that scientists are trying to solve for decades now. They found a way to anticipate on superbugs, the kind of things that are resistant to antibiotics. They solved it in 2 days. Scientists were working on it for more than a few decades. That's unbelievable. That was done by AI, with the help of AI and the help of scientists. They collaborated on it. And that's pretty amazing. We have a solution maybe in a few months or in a year. Anyway, is it a revolution or is it more than just a revolution? Let's look at that. You already know where I am. I was a pirate when I was 16. Then we call you a pirate, even a criminal. I made radio. We call it in Belgium free radio, hidden in a basement. And then we tried to do things that were new. We were criminals then. Today we call you a disruptor. That sounds much better and it's more fun. But I'm just a guy in black who is a little bit different, things different, and just want to be heard what I'm thinking. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I have a question for you. Who is using AI today at work? Please. I can see it. Almost everybody? A lot of people. Okay, another question. Depends on which level you're working, but who is lying about it to their boss that he's using AI? I was lying about it to my boss, to be honest, because I thought I have no boss, I'm a freelancer, I have a company, but for the people I work, I didn't say that I use AI because they look down on it, and I thought I'm going to make myself irrelevant. It doesn't going to help me, it's going to put me in a corner. So I didn't say about it, and that's what we see in the research also, by the way. 70% of people that use AI lie about AI to their managers. That's pretty remarkable, no? Isn't it? Some other numbers. Privacy is one of the biggest concerns we have about AI. What is AI going to do with the information about us? What is going to happen? They're going to put predictive marketing at work. It's already happening now. 95% of the big companies are using AI, but only 2% of the small companies are using AI. And that's a pretty big gap, by the way. That's not just a gap, it's a huge gap. It's like people are down in the gym, or are in the gym, the big companies, and they're using AI-powered machines, and the rest is still in the basement trying to figuring out how to open the door and Googling it. By the way, Google, use Perplexity. It's more fun, and it's faster, and it gives you more information than you want. Anyway, we are in a little bit of a trouble because we have a linear brain. We talked about the brain in the introduction, but we have exponential growth and exponential speed. We go 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 4 is 16, 16, 16, 64. That's what is happening also in the AI development. I just gave you the example of the Google AI scientist, 2 days instead of 2 decades. That makes it different. So a lot of people are struggling with the technology and to keep up with the technology. Even I'm subscribed to a lot of news, a lot of emails, call it whatever, I follow it. But I cannot follow. I cannot grasp it. It's too much even for me, and I spend daily 1 to 2 hours reading about AI. So it's doubling every 2 to 4 months in speed, it's evolving in speed. The law of Moore, it's over. 18 months, it's finished, it's done. 3 to 4 months for now. For now, only for now. Not yesterday, for now. Tomorrow will be different. That's something very weird for our mind. So you can ask yourself, what about strategy? Let that sink a little bit in. People cannot grasp what it is, exponential growth, until 60% is having a wrong perception of what it is, exponential growth. So even when they know that it's happening, by the way. So our linear brain is not programmed to do that, and that could be a problem. And there are some paradoxes. There are billions-dollar investments, and there is zero psychologically readiness for what is happening today, because we're not paying attention to that last part of the evolution we need to go through. Only 1% of the companies, by the way, calls their AI development, or companies calls their AI development deployment mature. Only 1%. Only 1%. That's not so much. That's pretty catastrophic in the way where we are today. We're also going through a kind of job transformation. A lot of people talking about, oh, we're going to lose a lot of jobs going to disappear. But we don't know. World Economic Forum predicts there will be something about 78 million jobs more instead of losing jobs. Other sources, alternative sources, talking about 300 million full-time jobs will disappear. But probably we will not go from a job transformation. It will be more probably a skill transformation. And what kind of skills then do we need? That's the big question, of course. I think we're going back. Sorry, I need to take this one. All right. What kind of skills do we need in the future? That is the biggest question, because it will determine your future and my future. I think the skills that we need are the soft skills. Creativity more than ever, because we need to steer the AIs. We need to work and collaborate with the AIs. I work daily with different kinds of AI. It's my creativity, the way I prompt it, the way I talk to it, the way I'm coming back to that point, the way I do that gives me the output that I need, or gives me new output that I'm surprised by and I can work with. Critical thinking will be very important. Complex problem solving will be very important. Emotional intelligence remains a unique human advantage, because AI struggles to understand feelings. It cannot understand feelings. It cannot understand emotions. And it cannot understand our social dynamics, because we are social animals. Our brain has a social network. AI doesn't have, for now, a social network, because we're talking about general artificial intelligence. We're not talking about AGI and AGI that is coming, probably. So not using AI today in your job, it's kind of being a taxi driver who refuses to use Google Maps, Waze, because you're already 30 years driving a tech cab, but the weather is changing, there's more traffic, there are things that unexpectedly happen, whatever you can call it. So smart drivers use AI in their daily lives, because otherwise you get lost and you lose customers. That's one of the things that could happen. So it's different. It's a little bit uncomfortable also what I'm telling, I think, also for me, myself, and I, and the rest of the people that I'm working with. But there is a kind of AI shadow economy. The people that lie about why they're using AI or not using it, or the way they're using it, and they're expecting they don't have the right way to work with it. Adoption will determine your survival. It sounds cruel and harsh, but I think the way you adopt AI will have impact on your possible future. And people are afraid of this technology instead of embracing it, because they think they will be irrelevant. So what can we do about it? That's the big question, of course. For me, it's not just a technological revolution. For me, it's a mindset and a leadership revolution, and innovation. If we don't evolve in our mindset, in our psychology, about the way we're going to be, the way we're going to handle this, the way we need to handle this, the way we are going to be in life, how we are going to be humans again with AI, and how to deal with that, that will be our biggest challenge in the future, I think. So AI is not a tool, it's not an upgrade. It's also, for me, a leadership test. And it's not just switching from a hammer to a nail gun. It's bigger, it's going to warp speed. I'm a Star Trek fan, by the way. welcome to the oh shit gap. What is the oh shit gap? Where you're in a meeting and your CTO is talking about LLMs and other funny words and embeddings and fine-tuning models and frontier models and agentic AI stuff and whatever you can call it. And then you start secretly Googling under the table what those words mean. Then you're in the oh shit gap. You lost it a little bit. You don't want to be there. Because 3 weeks later, your competitor can launch an AI tool that can push you out of the market, because that is what is today is happening. The only thing why I'm saying this is because to make you aware of the speed we're in and the possibilities we have. Possibilities and probabilities. The probabilities are the dangers. We also have to talk about the dangers. That's for later on. But you can have that feeling in your chest, the tightness is coming. But you can solve it. And there is some, big minds, brilliant minds like this also missed a lot of things. It's a human thing. Our brains are not wired for all the new things. You see, Albert Einstein was thinking that nuclear energy maybe basically impossible was, and certainly commercially used. Albert Einstein, of all humans, one of the smartest people in the world, I think, Steve Ballmer said, iPhone, never gonna work, never gonna sell. Maybe 2% of the market. Today they have 3 trillion market share. That's a mistake. But it's a smart guy. You cannot say that he's stupid or whatever. It's nothing to do with stupidity. It's human bias. And then in the middle, Jack Ma, in a discussion with Elon Musk, he said, oh, AI, that's for the tech nerds. I think we all know that that was not the smartest thing to say. So we assume tomorrow looks like today, always. That's what our brain does. Our brain is like a prediction machine, and it's trying to predict the future based on what we know and how it functions. But that's something very dangerous. By the way, there are a lot of excuses that your brain comes up with, like it's too expensive. DSL thought it was too expensive until somebody said, hey, we can launch an AI route optimization tool, and it only cost $50,000. It saves them millions in fuel and CO2 emissions. Not safe enough is also another quote that you will hear in boardrooms or between people when they're talking about AI. Johns Hopkins University and the hospital is using AI, implemented an AI system that helps them to save people's lives. Thousands of lives are being saved because of AI. That's pretty amazing. That's like the Google AI scientist. And the thing that I want to say also, this is the worst AI you ever will know. This is the worst AI you ever will know. The consensus about AGI, as the next phase, it's the AI that is even smart and can think like us, is in 2 to 3 years. That's not so far away. Some people talk about ASI in 2031, 2033, but nobody really can predict what is happening. They even don't know. You saw the Anthropic CEO was talking about writing code in the video, and he cannot say when what will happen. They try to predict it, but they even don't know what is happening in the black boxes of what they are making. So that's pretty crazy that we are doing that. Anyway, so the keys to fast adoption, what are they? First of all, I saw an article yesterday by Ethan Mollick. Please follow Ethan Mollick, if I can give you some pretty advice, if I may. Follow Ethan Mollick. Ethan Mollick is professor at the University of Pennsylvania, Wharton. He's the leading guy, and he wrote a book about AI, a must-read. Take his fast, sorry for the mistakes there, but the process is going slow of adoption, and that's true. Like AI does not change, by the way, instantly work now. There are new research from Denmark, but it has impact. Companies that encourage the use of AI are making progress and are seeing more adoption, by the way. New jobs are appearing also, so that's congruent with what we saw. And for the moment, there is no big impact on employment or wages. That's nice to hear. So the challenges are diverse, but it's going to be fun, I think. I think AI starts in the boardroom, needs to be in the boardroom. It needs to have a seat at the table. It's not a nice to have anymore. It's something, it's like oxygen. If you don't have oxygen, you cannot live. Then you only realize it when it's gone. But then it's already too late. It's not an add-on. Shopify CEO announced today or a few days ago, they only hire people who are fluent in AI tools. Duolingo CEO went further. They're eliminating contractor relationships entirely because AI plus employees will be 10 times more productive than they used to be. Fiverr CEO, Fiverr where you can go to people who very cheap do creative stuff for you, wants all his members to do more than just a good job, because a good job can AI do. AI will do just a good job. We people, we need to do more than a good job. Waymo has traveled more than 50 million kilometers, by the way, with cars. And that's also a nice thing to know, or interesting to know, and an evolution. Waymo makes less accidents than humans. Waymo makes less accidents than humans. So AI is making a big difference also there. They all started over there. But there are some questions that we need to talk about. These are the questions. How do you start with AI? Where do you start with AI in a company? How do you integrate it in your strategy? How do you integrate it in your departments? How do you want to talk about it with people? Here are three important questions. This is Professor Clayton Christensen from Harvard. He's died 3 years ago. He's the guy who invented a lot of stuff and also the jobs to be done theory. These are his three most important questions when he starts to think about stuff. Marketing, communication, strategy. He always asks these kind of questions. These questions are, what problem can be solved by integrated AI in our company? What customer problems can we solve with AI? What can we achieve for our customers, departments, and customers? This is outside-in thinking. This is not only inside-out thinking from your company to the customers. It's starting at the customer side, at the employee side, and of course, from inside your company. So AI is kind of a primary design for me. It should be at the table. You have to treat it like safety, like CO2 emissions and standards. It's the same thing, even more probably, because it will help you get those CO2 emission standards and norms. So that's an important one. And then, of course, the question, do we need to do it? Yes, companies, 25% of the companies that are using AI are getting these results already. Some of them losing money, but that are more the frontier model companies like OpenAI. For the moment, they are losing money. But companies who are using AI, integrating AI, are already over there. And it's the way they implement it that is the success. Like there is Christopher Perlia, I hope I announced it well. He's a supplier for the automotive industry. And they rolled out a program, AI for All. They did it together with all their employees. 460 employees get a questionnaire, and they start to discuss it about logistics, marketing, call it, everything. His statement is, tomorrow, no vehicle will drive on the road without AI in the software, and no vehicle will be designed or produced without AI. So they're all into AI and developed an all-in program for the employees. So what can we do to help people? That's important. It's a psychological thing. It's a mindset thing. Here are some things. Autonomy and trust is basic fundamental to adoption. If you don't create an environment of psychological safety where you can be yourself, where you can try, where you can fail, where you win and where you achieve and celebrate failures and wins, then it will not work. I see a lot of workshops now happening, and on LinkedIn you see the one, and almost everybody is busy with AI, so you see a lot of workshops. And I hear from companies that they're booking a guy for a workshop. Listen to what I just said. They're booking a guy or lady for a workshop. A workshop. It's not about a workshop. It's about long-time learning workshops and education. If you're not doing that, you're going behind. Think about the exponential rhythm we're in, exponential pace we're in. You will need to keep up with what is happening. And you only can do that by helping your people, educating your people, not only practical, but also psychologically. You have to give them the tools to find the right mindset and to prompt the right things. One of the things that I do and learn myself is to reverse thinking process. What is a reverse thinking process? A reverse thinking process is, first of all, AI isn't an oracle. It's not. It knows a lot. AI is everything, if you imagine. It's a neuroscientist, it's a plumber, it's a data scientist, it's any kind of doctor, whatever you want it can be, it is. It has all the information. And it combines all the information. What you can do with reverse thinking is play with all that kind of information. But also, if you ask your AI something, it will not give you the exact result you want, probably. Like generating an image, when I'm advising on a campaign, an advertising campaign, and I try to generate an image, then it will not give me the perfect image. But I can give it back and ask to change, to tweak it. And then I can take that image, and I can put it in another software, like Adobe with the generative AI, and I can change a lot of things, and then I will have maybe a better image than my original idea. So I changed my way of working and the process. It's a kind of reverse thinking all the way. You always go back and make iterations and iterations and iterations. So that's very important. But you have to keep aware of it, because intellectual laziness is one of the dangers that could happen with this process. I noticed with myself, as a nerd, yes, I'm a nerd, absolutely, completely. I quickly became an addict of AI. It's true. I woke up and I use AI. I go to sleep and I'm still using AI. I dream and I'm still using AI because I like it. It's fun. But at a certain point, I caught myself quickly satisfied with what I get from my AIs. That's intellectual laziness. You always have to keep an eye on everything. Your human judgment makes a difference. The way you prompt, the things you ask will make the difference in everything you do. But the reverse thinking process is a very important thing for the future if you want to go and deal with AI, I think. To close up, one more thing. Like I told you, I'm a neurodivergent. What is neurodivergent? Neurodivergent are people like this. Some of them you like, some of them you don't like. But what they have in common, they changed the world with their bright, new visions, ideas. I could have even possible put Richard Branson over there. Neurodivergent people are the ones with ADHD, giftedness, dyslexia, autism spectrum disorder stuff. I don't like the word disorder, by the way. It's differently wiring. We are differently wired. That's basic it. But you will need those people. In my education at Wharton, my professor, Michael Platt, said at the end of the course, and I was very happy to hear that, if you are in a position of hiring people in your future company, try to hire neurodivergent people. And why? Because in this era, with what we just have seen, we will need people that can think fast, that embrace change, that can make unexpected connections like Steve Jobs did, that are visionary thinkers like Richard Branson, that have empathic understanding. More than ever, that will be needed. What that makes us human. And that is something that the AI doesn't have. And thinking about beyond conventional boundaries, that are the skills that we need in the future companies to thrive and to make progress, I think. So, yes, that's it for me. I hope I made you think about something. That's the only thing that I wanted, to let you think about AI and the future, how to deal with it. And it's my conviction, yes, I'm a believer, absolutely, but I also see the dangers. It's not because you're a believer that you don't see the dangers. So you have to go on the two things, the possibilities and what we call the probabilities, where the dangers are. But I think AI opens a lot of stuff, good things and bad things. But AI doesn't not just amplify what we do, I put it over there, but it will make us uniquely human again. And that will make the difference. It's the AI and it's the human together that will make the difference. Success with it. Good luck.